What's up, subscribers? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, as requested, we'll be talking about some updates for Inuvo stock, trading under the ticker INUV. We'll be taking a look at some recent movement in the share price and also talking about some recent news that has come out from the company. But first, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that you get notifications about our future videos talking about the stock market and personal finances. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the links in the description to get your free shares of stock from Webull whenever you open and fund your account, as well as $10 of free Bitcoin from Coinbase whenever you open your account and make your first $100 purchase of cryptocurrency. So grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage of choice, and let's jump into it. For those of you who may not be familiar with Inuvo, or who may have just recently started to look into this as a potential investment, Inuvo is a very small cap company that was founded in 1987 and focused on developing artificial intelligence for digital advertising. We last talked about Inuvo stock here on my channel a few weeks ago after they had recently announced a new agreement with Google. But since that time, the share price has been getting absolutely demolished, with the share price down about 20% over the past couple weeks. This downward movement is despite positive news that investors received in early March that Inuvo's subsidiary Virtro has reached an agreement with Google. So why has Inuvo's share price been pulling back so much recently, despite this recent news? It's no secret that the stock market has been extremely volatile over the past couple weeks, with investors pulling a ton of money out of high-flying tech companies on fears of inflation. Let's just step back here for a moment, zoom out, and take a look at how the broader stock market has been performing recently. Overall, we can see that the tech-heavy NASDAQ has been getting absolutely destroyed here recently, with companies like Amazon, Apple, Tesla, and NIO, just to name a few, that saw a ton of growth in 2020, now seeing a ton of volatility here over the past month. So if the volatility continues for these larger tech companies, then there certainly is a risk that these smaller cap, penny stock companies like Inuvo are going to see much more pronounced volatility. Currently, Inuvo has a market capitalization under $130 million, so inherent volatility is definitely a risk for small market cap companies like Inuvo. But why is it that fears of inflation cause tech companies to pull back more than the broader market? Believe it or not, but a lot of that stems from what the Fed decides to do with bond rates. Think about it this way. When the Federal Reserve decides to increase interest rates on Treasury bonds, investors look at it as a safer way to get a return on their capital. And in addition to that, as Treasury bond rates increase, so do the interest rates associated with debt. With this ultimately making it more expensive for small market cap companies like Inuvo, in addition to regular consumers like you and me whenever it comes to credit card debt, mortgages, and things of that nature, to borrow capital in order to fund their future growth, adding additional inherent risk to that investment. So with all of that being said, that raises the question, can the share price of Inuvo go lower here in the short term? If the broader stock market volatility continues and we continue to have ongoing fears about inflation, both of which I believe we will, then yes, I definitely believe that Inuvo's share price could fall further. And if we continue to see volatility in the stock market overall, then for a small market cap company like Inuvo, I expect that volatility to be even more pronounced. So with all of that being said, what type of movement are we currently seeing in Inuvo's share price? Taking a look at Inuvo's share price, at the time that I'm recording this video, we can see that it was down close to another 4% in trading here today. And overall, it's staying flat at $1.03 per share in after hours trading. And taking a look at the stock chart over the past 3 months, we can see that Inuvo has given up much of the gains that it saw earlier this year. But zooming out further, we can see that Inuvo's share price is still significantly up from where it was trading over the past year. The share price definitely seems to be forming some support at around $1 per share, but if it breaks past that support, there's always a risk that we could see it fall further, perhaps even testing as low as 50 cents per share again. But obviously here in the short term, I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't predict what's going to happen with Inuvo's share price here in the short term. While there certainly is a risk that Inuvo could struggle more here in the short term and see its share price fall further, overall, like we discussed earlier in a prior video, Inuvo is sitting in decent financial shape. Currently, Inuvo has $35 million in total assets sitting on its balance sheet, more than enough to cover its total long-term liabilities in the sum of $1.1 million. And in addition to that, regarding their total current assets and total current liabilities, they're sitting in great financial shape there as well, with total current assets of $14.5 million in comparison to their total current liabilities in the sum of $8.7 million. So while there is a risk that here in the short term, Inuvo share price could fall further, from my financial and business operations perspective, I believe that Inuvo has more than enough cash on hand to make it through any type of short-term struggle. That's not to say that the share price couldn't fall further here in the short term, because it definitely could. But in the event that Inuvo struggles from a business operations perspective here in the short term, all of the cash that they have on their balance sheet will decrease the risk of further shareholder dilution. And in addition to the overall strength of their balance sheet, Inuvo has built quite the reputation for itself in the tech industry, forming successful business relationships with many tech giants, including not only Google, but Yahoo and Microsoft as well. And in addition to those tech relationships, Inuvo has also built relationships with brands across many different industries, including hospitality, travel and leisure, healthcare, and education, just to name a few. So in the event that Inuvo were to struggle here in the short term from a financial perspective, which based on their balance sheet I feel is overall unlikely, I believe that these strong business relationships would be key to help Inuvo to raise additional capital in the event that they would need to. But just remember, these videos are never financial or medical advice. They're merely me researching a company and providing my own perspective based on that research. Inuvo is a very small market cap company, and an investment in this company comes with a ton of inherent risks. So make sure you do your own research and are willing to accept those risks before deciding to invest in a company like Inuvo. What are your thoughts about Inuvo? Are you invested in this company? Are you thinking about investing in Inuvo stock? Where do you think the share price is going over both the short term and the long term? And what do you think about all of the points that I made in this video? Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think. And while you're down there, if there are any other stocks or topics that you would like me to talk about in a future video, please feel free to comment that down below as well. As a reminder, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a certified financial planner. I'm a resident physician with an interest in personal finances and investing. Please make sure you're doing your own research before you make any financial decisions. And please be sure to smash that like button and click on the subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm and to help support my channel. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.